What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name's TheSimYin. My name is Yen. I play The Sims. Did you see what I did there? Now, today's video is going to be very controversial and it's a very serious topic that I absolutely want to talk about because I am sick and tired of being sick and tired of this conversation. And I feel like it definitely needs to be said because a lot of EA game changers or a lot of your favorite creators are sweeping this under the rug, and I will not. So we all remember the Sim Summit when Lindsay Pearson came out and started talking about, what a big impact that the creators had when it came down to the Sims community, and only mentioned Spring Sims. So of course people took to Twitter, and one of them being Ebonics said, "Not a single black simmer in that reel. I'm fuming the impact black simmers have had." And then, a bunch of people corrected her saying that Spring Sims was in the mix, and she did say, apology, shout out to Spring Sims who was featured, but I'm so sorry, I'm actually so livid. Now, Ebonics is very well known in the Sims community, especially when it comes down to black CC creators, because she has amazing content, and I will actually get into that just a little bit later. But I do want to get onto this tweet when Spring Sims actually did reply to this whole thing, because there was a lot of controversy and a lot of backlash. And he was like, "I'm thankful for being included in the reel, but it makes me sad that I was the only one and there weren't more black simmers included, especially the amazing talented individuals in the community." Now, with that being said, Ebonics did respond saying, "I hope you know that you absolutely deserve of all the love and recognition you receive, my love. They need to do better. That's on them. You shouldn't be feeling sad on moments you're being celebrated." And then he does go on to respond and say, "I appreciate that and thank you. They definitely need to do more better in the future." Now, at the Sarah_O actually started a petition for improving black representation and acknowledging black culture in The Sims 4. This is almost at 5,000 signatures. Now, I'll actually link this down below in the description. But people were fuming. Like, we got so much racist backlash for retweeting this or talking about it, and people were just not happy. This was a peaceful petition that asked for simple demands, such as 3 things. 1, promote more black custom content and video creators throughout the year, not just during Black History Month. And I've spoken about this before, and I'll get into my opinion all the way at the end of the video. Also, hire 4 black sim gurus, and then also collaborate with more black simmers to create black sim content. Now, black simmers deserve to feel represented and acknowledged in the game, and many of us have spent years supporting financially and creatively. Before moving to focus on Project Renee, focus on the simmers you have in front of you that deserve to feel like a part of this community. And I completely agree. Now, we're going to get more back into the fact that the Sims actually tweeted back and said, "Our creator segments during the Behind the Scenes Summit did not fairly represent our vast community of players. Black simmers deserve to feel seen in all that we do for the Sims. So we're holding ourselves accountable to this mistake and we'll do better moving forward." Now, I kind of felt like this apology was kind of bullshit and it was kind of swept under the rug, just because at the end of the day, they knew exactly what they were doing, and they thought that just because they had a black representative talking, that it was okay. You saw it, you knew what you were putting out there, you knew that you had to go through and look at all these videos that were being published and that were going to be out into the summit, and I feel like no one checked, no one bothered to look at it and be like, "Oh," and you know what, maybe someone did, but this is what I mean by when I say that there's a lack of sim gurus and a lack of representation when it comes down to who is in the table. Okay, when everybody's at the table, if there's no one that looks like us, it's not going to be pushed through. It's not going to be, "Oh, okay, I get what you're saying," or, "Hey, look, I don't think that looks right," or, "Hey, you know what, maybe we should just add a couple more people because that looks a little bit funny." No one said that because, 1, we do not have representation when it comes down to some gurus. 2, there's not representation when it comes down to people who are working for the Sims in general when it comes down to us needing representation. Now, I do want to get into a couple of more tweets before I get into my own opinions. Now, Hot Girl Summer actually started a Sim Guru movement for those who are curious and why she actually did that. So we are going to read a couple of these tweets, and then we are going to get a little bit more into what I want to talk about. So the first one said, "I started this movement. It's not all about telling people not to support. By all means, all support is welcome, black or not. The Sim Guru movement is simply a silent, peaceful protest for at The Sims to acknowledge black representation in the general Sims community. For example, Sim Gurus play a major part in the Sims community. Where are the gurus that represent us? If there is one, a vast majority of the black community doesn't know of, heard about them. When you see a POC with Sim Guru in their Twitter handle, let them know you see them and appreciate them representing the Sims. Don't take it personal. Black representation matters, and if the Sims can't genuinely appoint one of us, we would just appoint ourselves," meaning a lot of people are changing their Twitter handles to, a Sim Guru, blah, blah, blah. So now a lot of people are actually being really racist, and I'm not going to even show these tweets. If you guys want, you guys can go under this Twitter thread, and there's just a bunch of Twitter threads in general that are literally showing how racist and disgusting and how foul people are being just by us trying to uplift our voice and say our representation matters. On top of that, I do want to get into the fact that Ebonics is one of the most popular, CC creators especially when it comes down to black CC hair, because again, I know this is alpha and a lot of people aren't into alpha, but at the end of the day, this is something that also represents us. And I've seen people do Max's match as well when it comes down to black hair representation. Why can't the Sims do it? Mirror is a very good prime example of when we talk about skin tones. She was one of the first to come out with multiple skin tones with a melanin pack. This was a huge game changer in the Sims community. Now, right after this, there was the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and then all of a sudden, once EA Game Changers started talking and being like, no, they deserve representation, only then did the Sims actually look at us and go, you're right, there isn't any skin tones. Let me go ahead and let's make some. We have over 100 plus skin tones, guys. You guys are getting skin tones, but this was not until EA Game Changers' backs were against the wall did they not decide to speak up. This is my issue with EA Game Changers as well. When I tell you there is not enough black EA Game Changers, because this is crazy. The only reason we got this was because EA Game Changers spoke up and was like, no, this is not it. So why did it take a bunch of white EA Game Changers to say all of this to get what we got now? Now it's just annoying and disgusting. So now their backs were against the walls. The Sims had to come out with this. And then not only did that, but they literally admitted that it was thanks to Ebonics and Mirror, Catherine Games, Mia Zap, these creators all had to do with the fact that the skin tones were a thing. And it's annoying and it's disgusting. And I feel like if you guys don't see it, it's blatantly in your faces. What they have to do is blatantly in our faces. And if you guys want to see even more receipts, let's bring up the receipts, okay? I'm going to get into this. So there was someone by the name of Choco_Milk Mochi, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, said the whole other cultures aren't represented in the game either. Why are black Simmers complaining again? Shit going around has me heated because I'm calling fucking cap with a thread, including the Sims timeline of all the times other people's cultures came before ours. Now, you guys need to check this thread out, because if y'all don't want any more, if y'all need more receipts, this is it. She also mentions, no, this isn't me saying that your representation doesn't matter. It absolutely does. And I'd actually like to see more of it in other people's cultures. Literally the first ever pack made for The Sims 4, the holiday celebration pack, of course included traditional Christmas items, but Jewish and Indian holiday items as well. This pack was released in December 16, 2014. No African-centered items. And as you guys can see, there was no African items or representation at all. Why? Because they do not bother to care. Now let's bring up something else. Also, they said after the expansion pack for The Sims 4 Get Together was released December 8, 2015, with an entire world dedicated to the UK by giving us Windenburg. Y'all see it here. Then let's go on to the next tweet. Next up, we have The Sims 4 City Living Expansion Pack released November 1st, 2016. Not only did this pack come with a new world based on San Francisco with hints of inspiration from Asian countries, but this pack has a plethora of other things, created some items to build and buy. It had items dedicated to Muslim, Indian, and multiple Asian cultures. It also included food stalls that showcased Mexican, Japanese, Filipino, Moroccan, Chinese, Indian, and Vietnamese. No African build or buy was in this. Do I need to pull up more receipts? I think I do, because I feel like a lot of people are still not going to get it. So, also goes to mention, on October 17th, holiday celebration was updated, built and by Creative Sim. Sims 4 Jungle Adventure came, and the entire pack was dedicated to Latin culture, food, culture, clothing, all that. Again, that's not a problem, but again, where is our representation? Now, I'm going to do it again. Let's go on to the next tweet. When Seasons released June 22nd, it wasn't fully inclusive, only making holidays like Halloween, Christmas, and Thanksgiving achievable, leaving Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and the Day of the Dead lacking, and others left out. And we have, it's clear as day, guys. It's clear as freaking day. Like, we see it. And I say this, I'm going to get to my opinion at the end. Let's do another tweet. So, August 16, 2018 was the day black people finally got a bit of representation with the Caribbean update that came with a few build and buy and creative sim items, including 2 Afro-textured hairs. Now, I will mention that the creative sim Afro-textured hairs also had a lot to do with being ethnically ambiguous, and they do this a lot when it comes down to when they create our hairs. They always had this loose curl texture to it, and it's just not fair. Now, the Lunar Year Celebration updated, built by Creative Sim, with even more traditional foods of the culture. Again, no representation here. we're gonna keep going. The next tweet said that this island living came out with the entire pack dedicated to Pacific Islander culture that went into great detail to incorporate everything it could have with the cultural significance and the hotel resorts, and how, you know, basically tourism in Hawaii was taking over and polluting, and that's where, like, you know, they got the inspiration, the ideas from. We saw that here, okay? Again, more ethnically ambiguous here, okay? Ethnically ambiguous. Now, you know, September 14, 2019 was the hijab update that added more hijabs, which I think is amazing. And I am so happy they did this because a lot of people were talking about that. And I'm glad this was represented. Discovery University has no culture creator sim or builder by items or food, but add an additional UK build. Like, what? I'm just confused. I'm really confused. I'm not actually that confused. I know exactly why they're doing this, is because, you know, there's nobody rooting for us. And then again, we're going to go on to say that, you know, the Hispanic Heritage Month update that showed culture, creative sim, build and buy objects from Mexico, Argentina, and the Dominican Republic. The foods and drinks even came with notes in history in them. They are capable, guys. They are capable. Stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. They know exactly what they're doing. And let's talk about Snowy Escape, hosted almost the entirety of Japanese culture, and to be extra inclusive, some features were taken out before release to make Korean players feel more comfortable due to the complications between Japan and Korea when addressed. So, guys, they know. They're doing the research. Like, this is unacceptable. I'm not saying that the Snowy Escape was unacceptable. I'm saying the fact that they act like they can't do this because they can, okay? No more giving them the benefit of the doubt, guys. It's literally right in our faces. I mean, this thread has so much and comes with so much, talking about all these different things. And I'm just like, guys, don't even get me started on my wedding stories. My wedding stories came with a culture formal outfits to have non-European traditional weddings and embrace one's culture. Nothing for African people. Guys, when I tell you we didn't get not one African dress, I remember having to download a CC Creators dress because there was not one given to us. Why? Who the fuck? Like, I don't understand. I do understand because there's no representation with Sim Guru, so therefore we don't get the representation. Now, June 24th, when we finally got, you know, do-rags and bonnets, and you know, for Juneteenth, and we got 2 dish ribs and fried fish. This is what and shout out to Complex Sims because we did need those bonnets. But this is what I mean by the only way we get what we want is on a holiday or when their backs are against the wall, when we're looking at them like, what y'all gonna do? They feel like they have to come up with something like, oh my God, Juneteenth is coming. They're gonna look at us if we don't do anything. We have to come up with something. Bonnets and fried chicken. Now, although that is a part of our culture, this is kind of messed up because it's only like when I say it has to be a holiday. It's only when there's a holiday they do something extra. And then she goes on to say, which isn't the first time that a Black CC creator helped them. The new nails you're loving so much from Spa Day Refresh, brought to you by Ebonics. The new skin tones they took inspiration from. Go ahead and thank X Mira. This is what we mean by we built the community. They actually made those and barely got any recognition. But I guarantee you've been enjoying their creations. And after making items for The Sims, why wouldn't you know, actually fight for us? Whenever anyone else in the community gets representation, Black Simmers are proud for you, happy for you. We don't try and take away from your celebration. We even celebrate with you. So why is it when we finally ask for our turn, we're met with scoffs, racist, micro and macro aggressions? Now, I do want to go ahead and go on to talk about the tweet where everybody is basically putting sim gurus in their bio, and at black_sims4 said, y'all not confused, you're choosing to ignore blatant problems with the Black Sims community because we took a stand in changing our names. The racists are mad. People are literally coming at us, and what I mean by this is people are literally putting sim gurus in their bio, right? Because we're like, as you guys can see, there is no representation when it comes down to Black simmers or Black sim gurus in general. When there is none of us at the table, I mean, nothing is going to get across. Nothing's going to get there. We're going to continue to keep getting lack of representation. Now, the one Black guru I did see didn't speak up on this, and I don't know if she just not on Twitter or she just not choose to speak up about this, but this is what I mean when I say that we need people that will speak up for us because it doesn't get shown. Now, I'm going to start going into my opinions right now. I do want to get into the fact that whenever they drop a pack, they always end up giving, like, every pack has a Black token sim. We see it. cottage living, eco lifestyle, seasons, cats and dogs. They always drop this black token sim in the pack and be like, oh look here, you know, exclusivity. We're being inclusive. We're making sure everyone is being represented, and it's kind of like a slap in the face because it's like, shut up. I know exactly what y'all are doing. Y'all ain't fooling me. You're not like, and here's the thing. Your favorite sim guru or your favorite EA game changers, your favorite Sims channels, they're not going to cover this because no one likes to be controversial. Anyway, let's talk about the fact that House of Goth, why did they have to do this? Because they ended up changing their skin tones. Let's talk about the Juneteenth pack. Let's talk about the only time that we get representation is when it comes down to a holiday. This is bullshit, and you guys know it. It's bullshit, and you know it. This should have been, like, we got some shirt and some ribs, and they said, Happy Juneteenth. This was a slap in the face. This was a slap in the face to the black community. I don't care what you say. Like, be for real. And then when they did this huge update of The Sims 4, of course, we got the little token black sim. Here he goes. Like, it's just like, come on. Come on now. Like, let's be for real. I'm just so over this, and like, it's literally in our faces. I don't want to show you guys how in our faces it is, and y'all are choosing not to still ignore it. When they were saying, we asked these simmers, what a time, tune in tomorrow. There's only one. There's only one. They always make sure to only include one. Now, people did go on to support this whole movement, and by the name of Suck Sim Stuff said, and the fact that they patted themselves on the back for listening to the community when we desperately pleaded for actual realistic skin tones. Someone else by the name of @HaroldSim said, if you have a problem with the Black Simmers protest, the way they are fighting for themselves and for their representation in The Sims 4, you think they are wrong, lying, or being deceitful, etc., then please unfollow me. I will always support Simmers of all kinds. Someone else by the name of Night Simmer also said, we need to start calling out the racist, transphobic, homophobes, and all the other undesirable we have in our community. Give us names so that we all know who to block. Tag them, screenshot, anything to expose them. And we are receiving a lot of support. I don't want to make it look like it's just hate. We are receiving a lot of support, but again, guys, I really need you guys to pay attention. Again, I will link this whole petition down below if you guys want to sign it. And again, with my final thoughts on this, it's in our faces. It's here. Your favorite freaking sim channel is not going to cover this because, one, they don't want the controversial, thing on their channel. Two, people just don't like to cover the truth. People don't like to cover the truth. It makes people uncomfortable whenever you bring something in about race. It makes people uncomfortable whenever you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to speak, or should I speak on this very well? No. Okay? It's just, I know for a fact these EA game changers are seeing this and they're still choosing not to say something, which shows a lot. I tell you guys this all the time. The only time they speak up is when their backs are against the fucking wall, and I'm fucking over it. I'm fucking over these damn sim EA game changers always doing shit like this. And it's not just them. It's not their responsibility to say something. I'm just saying, it just gets a little bit under my skin when I know for a fact they're saying this and they're not saying anything, but they only say something when their back's against the wall. But that's besides the point. This is all about the sim gurus. This is not a hate towards the EA game changers, because I don't want to make it seem like it's not their responsibility. It's not. You're right. It's not their responsibility to speak up, but it does get a little annoying when you know that they're saying something and then they're choosing to ignore it. Like be fucking for real. Be fucking for real. They talk about every other situation, every other issue, but the moment it's about race, or the moment it's about, speaking up for us, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should say something. It's just like, be fucking for real. Stop fucking playing. Anyway, this is more so about the sim gurus and how we need more representation. We do. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of not having representation. This is a game that is simulation. I cannot literally make myself without having to download CC. Do you guys not see a problem with that? And there's more than just the black issue. Of course, everyone deserves to be represented. Everyone deserves to be having more representation. But right now, we're talking about how black simmers are shunned and pushed to the side and put under because no one gives a shit. Because we don't even have a seat at the fucking table. That's the issue. So, with that being said, I said my piece. You guys, I know I'm probably going to lose some subscribers. I'm probably going to gain some subscribers. And you know what? I don't care anymore because I want to be completely honest and I want to be completely truthful. I gave you guys my opinion. Now, again, this is my personal opinion. Go ahead and comment down below if you agree or disagree. I don't care as long as y'all don't literally comment hatred, disgusting comments, and no racism. I'm not gonna fucking tolerate it. You are more than welcome to state your opinion as long as you're keeping it respectful. I say this all the time. This is not the community that's gonna block you for stating an opinion, but I will block you if you say anything racist, okay? Because what I'm not gonna stand around is watch myself get called an N-word on Twitter because I'm asking for representation in a game. What? That's ridiculous, and that's exactly what's happening. Anyway, guys, thank y'all so much for listening, and if whether you do agree or disagree, thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you guys all in the next video, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.